Panda Cooking with Ja, where Ja cooks something, shoots video with a friend, and then leaves. He eats, shoots, and leaves, just like a panda. So welcome to my kitchen. Some of you guys have been here before. So, like I said earlier, while we were exploring Woolies Fish Market and Lotus Foods in the Strip, we're going to be making some fresh traditional Hawaiian Poke today in a non-culturally exploitative, non-racist way. We're using fresh quality ingredients. So I'll just go over some of the stuff that we bought earlier today. At Woolies, we got fresh tuna, and then some sweet onions. You can use Hawaiian sweet onions or Vidalia onions. You want a sweet onion. Shallots, garlic, ginger. And then at Lotus Foods, we got sesame oil, pure sesame oil. The other kinds that are sometimes cheaper are spicy sesame oils. Unless you want it really spicy, get pure sesame oil. And then black sesame. What we're going to do first is we're going to cube the tuna. So walk over here. So we got this tuna at Woolies Fish Market, the oldest, freshest fish market in Pittsburgh. We got frozen because Woolies will not sell you fresh fish if you're going to prepare a raw dish, like sushi or ceviche, out of safety concerns, because we're not, near, the ocean. So generally, it's safer to use frozen fish. That's fine. We just let it thaw. When you're selecting your tuna, you want quality sushi grade tuna. So we're using yellowfin Ahi Tuna. It's worth the additional cost. We have a great cut right here. The cut we used earlier had a little bit of like white streaks. That's kind of like little ligamenty fatty material. So what you want is like a very clean cut like this. This is the kind of sushi you would pay $50 for in a quality Japanese restaurant. So you just want to kind of cut it. You can cut with the grain, against the grain. I'm not a sushi chef, so it doesn't really matter. But what we're trying to do is get relatively even cubes. You want them basically about a centimeter each side. So if you look here, you want a cube about that large. It's not an exact science. Just get it roughly close. And you'll notice as we're cubing it, we're just tossing it into a bowl where we're going to be mixing it with the other ingredients. So the reason why I'm doing this cooking video is enjoy cooking, love cooking with friends and family. Even cook when I'm traveling for people I'm visiting and people hosting me. And people always ask, you should do like a cooking show. You should teach us some of these dishes. So I decided to start this cooking show, Panda Cooking. It's based off that old grammar joke, like, hey, did you hear about that panda that's like holding up various restaurants in the neighborhood? Did you hear about that, Rachel? Rachel's my videographer for today. Did you hear about that, Rachel?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, it's crazy. He eats, shoots, and leaves. Eats, shoots, and leaves, just like a panda. So that's Panda Cooking with Ja. Where I'm originally from, Chengdu, is where all pandas originate from. So that's why my company mascot is a panda, and why I decided to go with Panda Cooking. So the other reason is because I don't know if you guys heard about Kahuna Gate. You might have heard about Chicken Gate. In East Liberty, arguably Pittsburgh's most gentrified neighborhood, some restaurateurs proposed some problematic restaurants. So the one that most people probably heard of is they proposed a 90s hip-hop themed fried chicken restaurant. Right where Ava and Shadow Lounge used to be, two historic African-American businesses. It's where Wiz Khalifa and Mac Miller came up. If you've heard of those guys and you like their music. So arguably that place created, I don't know how much Wiz Khalifa was worth, millions of, revenue and growth to the music scene in Pittsburgh. And now they just just want to open up a culturally exploitative fried chicken restaurant, and none of the people involved are African American. So generally, not a great idea. There was a lot of pushback against that. It got covered by all sorts of local publications, got picked up by the liberal blogs, and then even got picked up by Breitbart. So random racists from other cities could chime in on how they don't see anything wrong with a 90s hip-hop themed fried chicken restaurant run by, you know, just white people from the suburbs who never really lived in the city. So there was pushback about that. It's likely that is not going to happen now. But what a lot of other people don't realize is the same restaurateurs proposed a restaurant called the Kahuna, a poke bowl restaurant, which is basically what we're making now. So this is very trendy in other large cities, especially on the West Coast, where they'll just serve you poke in a bowl to go with various ingredients. You can pick your toppings. So it's just like this. Sometimes they'll serve it over rice or veggies. They'll charge you like $10 to $20 for it, which is likely what they were going to price it at in East Liberty. But anyway, they named it the Kahuna, which not many people know. Kahuna doesn't just refer to like surfing teacher. It refers to wise one or teacher, elder in general. So it's actually a religious spiritual term for native shamanistic practitioners. Usually it takes you decades of work in the community and formal apprenticeship to an elder who learned from his elder and so on for generations and generations back to earn such a title. So it's not the greatest thing to use just because you want to promote your trendy, overpriced poke bowl restaurant. The same reason it's problematic is why it's generally not recommended that people wear Native American headdresses to Bonnaroo and other music festivals now. I think people have realized that headdresses are a sign of tribal leadership that is very difficult to earn. So you shouldn't just wear it because it looks cool when you're listening to EDM music. So the Asian American community locally, the Asian Polynesian community, try to bring this up. I serve on NAP, the local board for Asian American professionals. But it's kind of difficult to bring up. We don't have a huge Asian American community in Pittsburgh anymore. Back in the day we did. A lot of people don't realize that Pittsburgh actually had a thriving Chinatown at the turn of the century. It existed downtown. There were over 100 Chinese-owned businesses at the turn of the 19th century. Not just restaurants, but laundromats, financial services, etc. But then they proposed the Boulevard of Allies, and everyone got pushed out. They used eminent domain seizure laws. There's a lot of xenophobia right then, kind of yellow peril, yellow panic. There were anti-immigration laws passed, so the community couldn't grow. People couldn't bring their relatives over. It was like the Trump administration back in the 1900s. Except I think it was under Warren G. Harding or somebody like that. But yeah, it's a shameful part of Pittsburgh's history that no one really talks about. There's only 2 remaining buildings left downtown that are the legacy of Pittsburgh's historic Chinatown. Oftentimes, as an Asian American, you're taught not to protest or rock the boat. It's the whole model minority myth. I remember it even affected me growing up. When I was in junior high, I was called chink for the first time. It's a whole big to-do because I was called that by the son of a police officer, so the school administration had to get involved and all of that. And then when I told my parents about it, they were like, you should try to avoid getting called chink in the future. Not really sure how to go about that. But yeah, we were sometimes just taught to keep our heads down and just don't rock the boat. Well, this is me rocking the boat, teaching you guys how to make poke, and we're making Kahuna Gate a thing now. Not just Chicken Gate, Kahuna Gate, spelled Kahuna Gate. Feel free to use that hashtag on social media. So, telling you that little story, we've already prepared the poke. Look how nice and pink that is. This is the color you want.
Very fresh looking.
Very, very fresh. So what we're going to do now is add our additional ingredients. So we're going to move over here. Notice we're using a different cutting board because you always want to cut meats and veggies on separate surfaces to prevent cross-contamination. We're going to add in the onions first. Remember, we're using sweet onions. They're a nice contrast to the natural saltiness of the tuna. So we're just going to cube it again. Almost everything in this dish is cubed. So, not super complex, but it does take time. Like all good quality food, takes time. So we're just going to chop up some of these onions.
And isn't that Vidalia onion originate in Hawaii too?
I'm not quite sure. Vidalia sounds like an Italian word to me. I think the sweet onion in Hawaii is called a Maui onion. They might be related, but
they might be related. I read somewhere like the volcano soil in the soil.
Yeah. So the reason why so many things are grown in Hawaii, like Kona coffee, pineapples, macadamia nuts, etc., is the natural volcanic soil makes for great growing conditions and tropical climate. So I used to live on the Big Island. That's where Kona coffee comes from.
Oh wow!
I used to live on the Hilo side. That's kind of less developed. We're playing some Hawaiian music in the background, some ukulele. If you want more modern ukulele music, I would recommend Nako and Medicine for the People. That's the band I used to hang out with on the Big Island. They're pretty big now. I think they play at Bonnaroo and things like that. But locally, I would recommend Avi Diamond. She has a show tonight at Club Cafe that I'll be helping out at. But she's a great ukulele performer. Even though I studied ukulele in Hawaii, I decided to get lessons from her because she's much better than I ever was. So, yeah. So, that's some music you can pair with this dish. That's my recommendation. Some traditional Hawaiian music, or more modern Hawaiian music, like Medicine for the People, or just ukulele music in general. Or learn ukulele. Just make poke and then serenade your loved ones with some ukulele music. So yeah, we're just cubing these. You kind of generally want to use a quarter cup, so we put about a pound of cubed tuna into the dish. Now we're just adding an additional quarter cup of sweet onion. So all of this is raw. None of it is being cooked. Just think about how it was traditionally prepared. Fishermen would go off of the islands to get at dawn, return around sunset with the catch of the day. Then the community would prepare a dish together